Tell me it's time. My sword's at the ready.
He takes the news calmly. A moment passes as he calculates the consequences, assessing this new world as it opens up before him. He nods his thanks, then raises his voice.
Seekers, we move. You are Lucian's eyes and ears. You are his sword and his shield. Burn the blackness with your holy fire!
They sank our ship, so now we're taking theirs. Move out! now? Your foul sorcery will be the death of us all.
fighter. Free. And how hungry I've grown.
Well, 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 quite the mess you've made here. I'm Malady, and you're...
She steps forward, grabs you behind the neck with alarming strength, and pulls you close. She sniffs twice, her nose at your ear, then bites, piercing the lobe with a needle-sharp fang. She releases you and grins, running tongue over teeth.
God woken. My mother certainly thought so. I didn't hurt you, did I?
She leans back, looks you over, and smirks.
So, God woken, you're what gets some of us out of bed each morning. What do you make of that? Ah, of course. Too important to feel important. Very good. Well, first things first.
She peers at you closely, a knowing squint in her eye.
Tell me, which of those little gods did you meet? And what did they teach you?
Her eyes go wide.
Go on then. Show me what he taught you. I don't. Now go on. Hey, that stings.
She examines her hands, where the skin sizzles slightly beneath their newfound aura. As the spell fades, the skin heals once more. Her whole body seems to relax.
You really are God woken. I'm happy. Oh, how unbecoming. Come then, we set sail, your destiny awaits, etc. You'll have to ask the Meister about that. She's dying to meet you.
Malady beckons you to the boat.
After you, darling. Boat first, questions later. As you wish. Let's go.
Malady grabs the vessel with two hands and pushes it into the water. She hops on board behind you.
God woken. Wait till she finds out.
Salty water mists your face. Your skin prickles in bright, warm sunlight. The boat bobs forward through the water, and Fort Joy shrinks behind you.
Tired but victorious, the party made for the Lady Vengeance. The horrors of Fort Joy behind them. They arrived as sorcerers. They left as God-woken. The fate of this God-forsaken world now rested on their shoulders. Or at least, on the shoulders of one of them.
Come, come, Quercus. Time is short.
A light sea breeze kisses your cheek and carries away the smell of blood wafting up from the deck. In the distance, Fort Joy looms.
Don't stand between a prince and his principles. The Magisters learned that the hard way.
What were they thinking, standing against an Eternal? I almost pity the poor, ignorant beasts.
I've no sympathy for those who die in the line of duty, especially as odious a duty as those dead Magisters held.
I'll be damned if I ever set foot on that island again. Don't care who I have to bury.
Bad luck to let the dead linger aboard. As soon as we get moving, we ought to clear the deck.
A hard-fought freedom, sure. But if spilling blood is bad, it shouldn't be so agreeable. Onward now. The sooner Fort Joy disappears from the horizon, the better.
Well, this is a fine sight. Utterly barbaric, of course, destroying a tree and turning it into a boat. Grotesque, but, well, look at it, Quercus. A floating nest, surrounded on all sides by salt water, pure poison to a tree's root. The great acorn could never reach us out here. Well, yes, of course we'll continue our research, Quercus. We're not monsters. Still, I must admit you were right about the shield. It proved to be more than adequate. It seems our shield is still here, Quercus. No, I do not think it has a point. The lives of a handful of giants cannot be weighed against the lives of an entire world. The great acorn is... And I really cannot stress this enough, Quercus. The end of the bloody world! Now, if you're quite done arguing, we have a world to save. Come, we must return to our research.
Deliver us from peril. Don't go any further, Godwoken. We need you alive. The ship won't sail. We had orders to search every corner of it and figure out what's blocking us. It's hewn from elven livewood. I thought I could communicate with it, but...
She glances over towards a smouldering pile of ash on the deck nearby. Something is nestled within it. Fragments of scorched bone.
That was Brendan. When the ship wouldn't answer my call, he touched the figurehead, and it attacked him, without warning. He burned, like he was made of parchment.
Her eyes flick over to the smouldering ashes once again, her head held at a despondent angle.
Thank you. We were held captive together, on this ship. He kept my spirits up. Now he's dead. Nothing. The ship is livewood, that much is clear. But I couldn't communicate with it. The Magisters must have done something, warped it somehow. I just don't know what. Just remember what I said, Godwoken. If you die, then this was all for nothing.
Before you is a towering figurehead carved in the likeness of a dragon. It looms over the bow, its fangs bared at the open sea.
There's an odd mark on the side of the figurehead. Battle damage, weather staining. It almost looks like a pattern, however.
Spare me, Gareth. We got what we came for. This is what success looks like.
I won't see them tossed overboard. Not here. We'll hold a proper service.
What's-his-face and so-and-so would want us to get this ship sailing before all else. They died for those Godwoken, after all.
You know their names, Malady. Can't you even pay them that much respect?
Gareth inhales sharply, then catches you out of the corner of his eye and smiles, barely.
Our guest stirs. Welcome, Godwoken. Glad to see you safely aboard.
Very glad indeed.
Too many.
One too few, actually. Alexander, he's alive. Apparently, you didn't hit hard enough.
He's in the hold below decks. Unconscious, but alive. Question him. Someone has been hunting your kind, and Alexander fancies himself the only Godwoken worthy of ascending. As far as we know, you may even be the last still alive. Yes, we certainly had better, but the ship won't move.
She's mute. We need to free her tongue. Quite expedient, isn't it? Dallas seems to have made a ship out of an ancestor tree, then found a way to bind the spirit within to her alone. That means only she can control it. Unless we can find a way to break the bond. Go ahead and try. Maybe a pure breed will have better luck than I did. But whatever you do, hurry it up. The longer we sit here, the higher the chance the Order will get their hands on you.
We won't let that happen!
Yes, yes, and all that.
Void Slayer, Worm Killer, Godwoken. You have many names. Let's add ship's captain to the list once we get this thing moving, shall we? Driftwood, of course. Little fishing village. Not very welcoming, but you'll brighten it up, I'm sure. Got family near there. Not the adventuring types. For the best, really. Meister Siever's there too. My leader. Our leader. She held the Seekers together when we had every reason to fall apart. Think of her as a teacher. The powers of the Seven stir in you. She'll reveal them to you. Show you how to manipulate them. I won't let the Fallen be forgotten. I'd be no better than Dallas, no better than Alexander, if I just tossed their remains into the sea. To think that whelp spawned from greatness. He deserves no better fate than his silent monks. All this blood. Children ripped from families. Seekers ripped from me. He's down there now, guarded like some precious jewel, rather than leashed and flogged like the dog he is. Amazing to think those of us in the Order once assumed the gods were with him, and only him. That was before we found the others. The Seekers were once part of the Order, my friend. When Lucian died, we waited. Yet Alexander never rose to divinity. And then we started to find more like him. More Godwoken. And we weren't the only ones looking. A killer had marked them too. The Seekers were born. We found Godwoken, housed them, fed them. I loved them like family. I was naive. But let's leave the past in the past and reach for what's ahead. She's not. Well, not in the strictest sense. She's not exactly an elf either. Half demon, Meister Siever says, and I don't doubt it. I don't know how Siever came to know her, but Malady's a proper ally. She's not easy to like, but there are times I admire her coldness.
Gareth fingers the hilt of his blade. He stares at nothing in particular before turning his gaze back to you.
Keep Lucian close, Godwoken.
Ah, there you are. High time to stop gallivanting and resume our journey together, wouldn't you say? Off we go, then.
You made it, Godwoken. Good. Not all of us did, though. The sooner we leave this island behind us, the better.
there you are. I was just thinking of you. This is Dallas's ship, but she can't have been the only one who could get it moving. It'd be too risky. And Dallas is anything but careless. There's a way to move this ship on board, I'm sure of it. You'd be surprised. A ship like this holds many secrets. Hopefully you can discover some these seekers might have missed. The figurehead has certainly caused a commotion lately. But then again, so have the doors downstairs. Everywhere you look, a hunk of wood looking to incinerate or stymie you. Dying to hear them, pure breed. Meister Siva is one of a rare breed. She'd do anything in the name of a cause, and her cause happens to be you. She's desperate to meet a living Godwoken. She'll be exceedingly pleased we're en route. We'd better not leave her waiting. She's a bit particular. She's the founder of these Seekers, and she's powerful. That means something when I say it. Your kind can reach astounding heights. Meister Siva can help you do just that. A place called Driftwood hosts a putrid fish, putrid dwarves, and Meister Siva herself. You'll probably find it quite comfortable.
Yes? Is it an audience you desire? Why, sail for the mainland, of course. The sooner Fort Joy is but a blemish on the horizon, the better.
We have to find a way to get this ship moving. We can't let the Magisters catch up with us. We're too weak to fight them again.
Let's team up, you and me. What do you say? Now, onward! Missing hat, natty beard, vessel adrift. It's a sea captain's worst nightmare it is. Look, I don't know how to ask you this, but you all right up there?
He punctuates his point by rapping his own head a few times.
We get this tub moving. I mean, what else would we do, mate?
He notes your gaping mouth and slaps you on the back with a guffaw.
You hoping to catch some flies in that maw of yours? I'm joshing you. If you're going to have an adventure, you need to get used to some ribbon, friend. Because let me tell you, if you're not laughing, you're dying.
All that fighting will be worth less than nothing.
Melody says if we can get the ship to move, we can go home. Home!
I must say, you may not be an Eternal, but you are certainly not as temporary as many of your fellows. You handled yourself well. Personally, I am just glad that I do not have to walk back to Reaper's Coast. Wind travel may be primitive, but it is at least efficient. Livewood, you have taken a dead elf and carved it into a pleasure yacht? I knew you people were barbarians. I had no idea you were sadists too. Well, no matter. Whatever gets me to Reaper's Coast quickly. I have an excavation site to explore. Ah, yes. I have heard that your people enjoy various fermented fruits and vegetables. It often seemed to be involved in... Pardon? Was that an invitation? Were you trying to initiate some form of mating ritual? Why, that would be excellent! I have been curious about this for some time. The social interactions, the expectations, the mechanics. Come now, let's begin immediately. I shall compile my notes afterwards.
Fane grabs your hand and enthusiastically pulls you behind the screen.
Well, that was most unusual. I mean, I had read all the leading authorities on it, but I didn't think... It's just... that thing you did with your tongue, it was quite unexpected. My goodness. It was certainly an experience, but I must admit I was expecting something more. Not from you. Certainly not from you. It's just that well, I felt nothing. Neither the warmth of your touch nor the fire of your passion. I may as well have been shucking an oyster. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, you were perfectly adequate. Sublime test conditions, really. It's just... well, all these books promised a transcendental experience. Instead, it was merely biological. Now, if you'll excuse me...
The skeleton pulls a notebook from his robes and starts scribbling. You can hear him muttering something about highly unorthodox, lack of sensation, and coccyx. You ponder his words as you pick up the last of your belongings. You're almost sure that's what he said.
A team? What an interesting prospect. You certainly seemed capable in Fort Joy, and a companion on Reaper's Coast could be quite educational. Very well. I am open to this. I believe you normally spit on your palms to seal agreements, but I seem to lack the fluid and the desire to touch you. I hope a hearty verbal agreement will suffice. Very well, let's be off.
How can one be seasick when one has no stomach? This is heinously unfair.
Set sail, for the love of all things, set sail. The sooner I am off this carved monstrosity, the better.
Missing hat? Natty.
The silent monk leans from one foot to the other. The silent monk leans forward slightly and stares at you straight in the eyes. She seems eager for you to say something.
I was just getting used to this seafaring life. You know, we could... from the look in your eye, I gather it's time to grab my things and get back to work. Ready? We'd probably get tired of this view soon enough anyway. It's good to be on the open seas again.
Ifan salutes right back, then grabs you in an unexpected bear hug.
Truth be told, I couldn't have done it without your help. But you know, a contract's not complete until you hand it in. So I'm not putting my feet up just yet. Me too. Best damn friend a man could have.
He whistles, and the shaggy wolf appears by his side, panting in that way that makes wolves look like they're laughing. The wolf whines and claws at the ground.
Wouldn't try that if I were you. He don't take kindly to strangers. Afrit's been howling at my side a long time now. Good old boy appears anytime I use Source. You should have seen him rampage on the day the Magisters collared me. If you'd seen that, you'd know to keep your fingers as far from his jaws as you could. Set sail for Driftwood, I reckon. From there, we can track down my old pack and find out who's behind the contracts to kill Godwoken.
He grunts approvingly. Side by side, you stare together at the wave-dashed horizon.
There's something to these doors I'm not seeing. But what?
Speak to me if you're looking for hired help. I've got good fighters of every stripe. They know how to keep their mouths shut too, as long as there's gold. So, what'll it be?
Hey, don't I know you from somewhere? So, we've got quite the task on our hands, haven't we? I have to admit, the whole thing is very intriguing.
Being behind bars suits you, murdering scum.
The old band back together again, hmm? I guess that depends, doesn't it? Look at me. Hard. What do you see?
Losa leans back slightly, thin arms crossed in front of her chest, and stares at you defiantly from dark eye sockets, darker and deeper set than when you first met. She blows back a lock of white hair, matted with sweat and grime, and holds back a smile from the corners of her lips.
Seriously? Look at me. I look like lukewarm death. This isn't a joke anymore. You see that, don't you? Your god wants me dead. My god? Devil? Who knows? It wants me. It's getting stronger and I need to outpace it. I want to make sure you understand, well, the risks. You don't get it. I'm dangerous. You have to pay attention. You have to be willing to hurt me if I'm hurting you or someone else. Can you do that? Do I ever? Still sore from that one. At the time, I wanted you to defend me. I didn't realize how bad things had gotten. I know better now. Something like that happens again, you do what needs to be done. Deal? Well, all right then.
She pinches your cheek, a sparkle in her dim grey eyes.
I knew I could count on you to murder me in a pinch. Let's go, Chief.
Mr. Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance. Enough! Being behind bars suits you, murdering scum. Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine
The Seeker
Eminence.
flexes her arms stiffly. Her joints audibly pop. She sees you draw near.
I owe you, Godwoken. Without your help, I'd likely still be a prisoner around here, not guarding Alexander the Bloody Divine himself.
She nods her thanks and immediately winces, laying her hand on the back of her neck.
I wish. No, the Magisters kept me chained to the bulkhead. Arms held above me head, feet barely able to touch the deck. Now my joints are paying the price. No, they had us down below, chained up in the dark. But the Reds were up to something in it. Maybe it was just the lack of food and rest playing tricks, but I swear I heard chanting and horrible moaning coming from here. But when we broke free, it was empty. Or a big bloody target on our backs. We took their leader and their flagship. The Hammer won't stand for that. She'll be hunting for us.
The Seeker throws a toxic look at the imprisoned Magister.
Hardly. She's just some deckhand. If it were up to me, I'd tie her to the main mast and use her for arrow practice. But Malady wants her alive for now. Good luck getting anything out of either of them. Our special guest is out cold. And the other one ain't in much of a talking mood. All right then, just... don't make me regret it. an eye on the red until the cage is locked again.
A young magister paces around the brig, fussing over Alexander's unconscious form. She leans over and applies a damp cloth to his brow. She notices you observing her. She straightens her back and sets her jaw in a defiant scowl.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance. That's all the information I'm giving to any of you lot, so stow your questions, elf. Ranley, Corker's mate, Lady Vengeance. Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the...
The Magister falls silent, but stares at you with unwavering defiance. The Magister's stare hardens into an intense scowl.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate... Get away from him, sorcerer. That's the Divine. All right. Don't harm him. I'll be watching.
Bishop Alexander lies supine on a bare wire cot. Though unconscious, his eyes are only half closed. His swollen jaw hangs open at an odd angle. Bruises swell beneath his eyes, and a shallow gash zigzags from his right ear down to his beardless cheek. Unconscious, he looks more boy than bishop. Someone has wiped the bishop's hands clean and folded them neatly over his abdomen. They rise and fall in shallow, jagged swells. A beautiful six-sided gem rests on the bishop's chest, hung round his neck by an ordinary oiled rope. The gem sits heavily in your pouch.
Magister Ranley.
We've braved the joy, and I lust for further adventure. What say you? Shall we continue our journey together?
You're not quite certain you'll ever sleep soundly with Sabine in any sort of proximity, but at least she's on your side. For the moment.
A moment's pause. I had thought us too wicked for rest. What use Fort Joy had has been spent. New hunting grounds wait across the sea, so by all means, let us sail. Ha! People will enslave anything these days. At least back in my day, they had the elegance to opt for an elf. A strange question from an elf. Home, you ask. You know very well there's no such thing. I hail from the land that was. The kingdom of fog. The grave of divinity. If ever I had a home, it has long since gone up in the smoke of death fog, along with so many elves. So, no home, except... everywhere, really. The world is mine. It's mine because I say it is.
She looks at you, expectantly.
Yes. You may bow before the Queen of the World. We, the Queen of the World, smile upon thee with favor. We dub thee Knight of the Needle. Arise, good lady, and wear your title proudly.
She takes you by the hands and laughs heartily as you stand up.
How kind of you to play along. We won't forget.
I've spotted something.
The door seems like any door, at least at first. Then you notice its unblemished wood. There is no knot, no scratch, no dent to detract from its apparent perfection. The wood groans and creaks. For a moment, you swear a face appears in the wood. A face tortured and tormented, a six-sided shape carved upon its forehead. The face vanishes. The word goes unheeded.
No and...
The door seems like any door, at least at first. The wood groans and creaks. The face vanishes. The anguished face appears. The door remains unmarked. The anguished face appears once more. It dips its forehead towards you and waits. A shudder of pleasure racks the figure in the door. It seems to breathe. All of a sudden, all anguish is gone. It gives you the sternest of looks.
I am summoned. Speak the password. Yes, and yes again. The word is spoken. Welcome to the stateroom.
You saw what I could not. It seems Malady is quite right.
You got through the door. You really are a Godwoken.
Just one more moment, please.
He clicks together two halves of some type of gauntlet sitting in his lap and turns his full attention to you.
And there. Rescued at last, am I? To whom do I owe my thanks? Armor? Such a limiting word, but yes. It serves that purpose, amongst others. Dallas has been keeping me prisoner here, but I try to keep working on my own projects when I can. Despite what she did to me, I can't help but admire the woman a little. She's unwavering. She will break before she bends. If you cross paths with her, be sure to break her. I doubt you will get another chance. Took it? No, I made it. Have you seen the kind of metalwork the Magisters deploy? This is in a different class to them. As I said, the Magisters left me weakened. But this will help give me the strength to carry on my work. Dallas didn't tell me anything if she could avoid it. But I did overhear her practicing an ancient lizard dialect. Significant, perhaps, don't you think? Lizards apparently have ancient magic that allows them to control slaves that bear the mark by singing a song. Dallas must have had an interest in those techniques. Why torture? What else?
He extends his arm and pushes up the sleeve. Beneath, the skin is withered and discolored, as if it were magically decayed.
She used some form of domination device on me, forcing my hands to do her bidding, and I've ruined them in the process. Well, the situation is looking immeasurably better now. You'll hear no more complaints from me. So why don't you tell me all about my valiant rescuers? To whom do I owe my thanks? You undersell yourself. The roster of those who stood up to the Magisters and lived to tell the tale is a short one. I ought to continue what I'm doing here. Unless there was anything else. I have particular skills that she sought. Healing, crafting, and more arcane magical practices. She had me enchant a dead cat, for instance, so it would seem alive.
He clicks the gauntlet into place around his withered forearm, his eyes on you the whole time.
But that damn contraption that she used on me seems to have fogged my memory. The rest is a blur. No! Necromancy is an unsavory practice, not something to be trifled with lightly. This is but a cunning illusion of my own creation, nothing more.
His face abruptly creases into a smile.
But come now. Enough of Dallas and dead cats. You've taken this ship and granted my freedom. This is a happy moment. I'm afraid I cannot tell you what I do not remember. Could you pass me that copper wire just there?
He takes the copper with a nod of gratitude. His sleeve slips back, above his elbow. In its crook, you see part of a tattoo. A pattern of concentric circles rendered in black.
Perhaps my memory will come back with time. But for now, I'm afraid there's little more I can add.
A pyramid. What on Rivellon is this for?
A teleporter pyramid. Only one way to find out if it works. Try using it.
And
you thought Rivellon was flat.
What script is this? Oh, whatever it is, it appears to be written in verse. What's this? I found something!
I'm a monster. I click and clack as I stalk my prey. My tail rattles like a snake's. I suffer. Don't touch me. My very being is a curse. Was Tarquin that wretch, that rat? I ate an ill mouse and passed in my sleep, and the brooding boar brought me back on a log. Me miserable. Mumsy? Is she here? Mumsy, where are you? 'Tis I, Booply Bear. I am quite changed, but don't be frightened. There is no shame in being ridiculous in the name of love. You? She sent you?
The cat begins to purr and rub itself on your ankles.
Any friend to Mumsy is a friend to me. I believe the song is around here somewhere. The song, of course. Trouble not my weary mind with duncery.
The cat purrs, an eerie clicking sound.
Tell Mumsy to come back soon. Now that I am but bone, I'm too light to trip the moving door. I'm sure there's a rat back there.
Oh, Quirkus, don't be like that. I was looking at his bone structure for academic purposes. There's nothing to be jealous of, honestly.
I spotted something.
Back, Quirkus! Our shield has gone mad!
Which way shall I fly? Infinite.
Guards and victims.
Both, I fear. Another pyramid.
It's good to have a sense of freedom once again.
You saw what I could not.
Yes? Is it an audience you desire?
As you approach, the silent...
There you are. I was just thinking of you. Indeed? Excellent. You've shown some ingenuity. Now show me more, and search every corner of those quarters. There must be a way to control this ship tucked away somewhere. Naughty lizards. Then I suppose that rune on the figurehead was a slave scar. This tome must be the song that controls it. Well done. Go on then. Sing it to the figurehead and get her to sail. Atta Godwoken.
The figurehead continues its vigil over the seas. The detail is remarkable. It looks like it could turn around and the deck beneath you groans and trembles, like the ship itself is awaking from a slumber. A deep sigh emerges, unmistakably the sound of a living being.
You are not the witch. You are not Dallas. You sang the song. Now you must decide my fate. Are you to be my new mistress? You honor me to embrace me as kin, despite my mutilation. I thank you, but I cannot be free again. Not truly. I am a vessel, and must be guided. Let me take you wherever you wish. We can depart as soon as you are ready. Ask. I am here to serve in all ways. I see you, sister, but I do not see myself. I was once an elf. That much I know. Then I passed and grew into an ancestor tree. That time has passed. I saw that forest reduced to a dead place. Then I was taken away. My memories were lost, like the leaves from my branches. Thanks to the great calamity of our people. The Magisters. They tainted our soil with death fog, and uprooted the sacred ancestor trees. They tore me apart, and turned me into this monstrosity. Of course, wherever there is sea, I will endeavor to bring you. Consult with your companions and set a course.
The ship's awake. Good. Is she ready to sail?
A slow, toothless smile stretches across her face.
To driftwood, then. It most certainly is. Forward!
With the sun on their backs and the wind in their sails, the Godwoken watched Fort Joy shrink behind them. But their capture of the Lady Vengeance had not gone unnoticed.
I respect your mettle, sorcerers. You steal my ship, kill my bishop, and ally with demons. But you have no idea what you're really dealing with.
We are ready, mistress.
Yes, but are they?
I swear, mistress. I swear they'll perform admirably.
Very well. Show me. Goodbye, sorcerers. This is my ship. I won't see it taken from under my feet. You, act!
Yes,
Oh, for the love of the void. Listen up. We can't win this one, but I can get us to safety. You'll need to buy me time. Show us what you can do, Godwoken.
Godwoken? Parasites, rather.
I'll take care of it, mistress. Why such fire? Let's move.
Stop that elf! Her sorcery must be silenced!
grip of the half-demon malady. The Godwoken escaped through the veil that separates life from death.
The air here has a familiar smell, like the place you grew up. Old memories begin to well within you, but the sweet sour smell of decay suddenly punctures them. The air is silent and still around you. No movement, no life disturbs it.
Is that a tree? What's hanging from it? Must be a way across. Tyr Sendilius! The gods! Are they dead? How can this be?
Amadia hangs before you, her face cut and bruised, her chest barely moving. You think you see a tear run down her cheek. You lean in. That's no tear. It's sauce. The shimmering liquid is seeping from her wounds and dripping to the ground below her. Ralik hangs limp from the tree, cursed branches constricting him, snake-like from foot to shoulders. His helmeted head hangs slack at his side, but a barely audible wheeze rasps from his lips.
Hurry!
Cursed tendrils tighten around Zorstissa. Her lips are moving, but no words seem able to escape her lips. A small, stout imp winces under the countless cursed threads that bind her. Ever-tightening cursed branches constrict the great dwarven god Duna. His eyelids flutter, and his face, bluish and bloated, nods. Before you hangs a great ethereal orc, his face twisted in a knot of pain as cursed tendrils constrict him. Tight coils wrap Tyr Sendilius from head to foot. His still face is set to a glowering sneer.
Thank you, my child. Thank you.
Bring my champion.
The cursed tendrils slacken. Zorstissa inhales deeply, air wheezing in her throat.
My one. My one.
Your time is short. Your time is short.
Begone. Begone from here. Ugh. Where is my champion?
As he regains consciousness, Tyr Sendelius frees an arm from the tendrils that bind him. He clutches at the coils, but cannot rend them apart.
Curse these snakes! Curse these binds!
The others too? Am I the first to wake? It doesn't matter. There is no time. You must leave this place. It's too dangerous. It struck even here. In these halls. Invisible it creeps. The void. It is here. The cosmic spider ever weaving its webs. The void is coming for us gods. Coming to drink us dry of our powers. We stand no chance. Not here. Yes. I, the god who created you, tremble. Soon the Seven will be nothing but morsels in the maws of the void. Unless you do as I bid you. Do what I blessed you for. You have already set loose some of the powers locked within you. But there is a great well of possibility as yet untapped. You cannot stop until you ascend to the highest heights of your power. You cannot stop until you become divine. Like Lucian, you will be called to unite the powers of the Seven against the Void. Like Lucian, you will lead our proud people to preeminence. But unlike Lucian, your weakness will not lead you to foolish failure. Either a new divine rises, or the world falls prey to the Void. One of the Godwoken must become the new divine. And that Godwoken must be you. You are my champion. So set off in pursuit of divinity. But you are an undefeated Godwoken, ready to unite the powers of the Seven. Now hurry. Get out of here before...
Hush! It's here. The spider's here.
Run! Go! I will find you. I'll be in...
White-hot cold pierces your heart like a blade. You are frozen to the spot. The burning cold pumps through you like a curse, and then...
What's happened here? Where is everyone?
The same troubled look is visible on each face. You've seen the gods beaten and defiled, strung up as a warning.
The gods are dead. Long live the Godwoken. If the Seven should indeed come to nothing, I'll be ready to take their place.
I've got my weapon. I've got my wits. And now, I've got a new enemy. If the Void wants me, well, I say let it come. I'm ready.
I had dreams of what I should say if I saw the Seven Lords once more. But that was a nightmare.
The Void has been pushed back before by the power of mortals. The gods couldn't handle it. But maybe we can.
Gods, schmods. They aren't interested in me, and I'm not interested in them. It seems whatever's inside me is more powerful than any of them anyway. Or at least more cunning.
What can yet be blessed, can yet be restored. One way or another, divinity will survive. Through all of you, and all of me.
This place is strange. I cannot bear you away from here. You must find other means so that we can leave. Death washed over me as we entered this place. I felt many lives extinguish in a single moment. But others still draw breath. They are sheltering below decks. The one who brought us here. The demon that wears the face of my kin. Only she can set the course back to the land of the living. She is here still. I can feel her.
Away somewhere, safe from the storm, I hope.
been? I can't keep this up much longer. We need to go. Seekers dead, Alexander missing, God-woken passengers deceased. And unless you want to die too, we need to go. Now. There's no time. I can't hold us here. Brace yourself. This might hurt a lot.
The chill of the Hall of Echoes clung to the Lady Vengeance as it returned to the shores of Reaper's Coast. The Godwoken were alive, but what of the gods?
Interesting. Solid ground materializes beneath your feet. Your weight falls back into your body all at once, and bright sunlight stings your eyes. As your eyes adjust, you realize you're still aboard the Lady Vengeance. A gust of fresh sea air caresses you, and warm sunshine prickles your skin.
Oh, one moment, please. Oh, just a moment.
Malady explodes in a fit of retching that racks her body. At last, she sneezes and expels a glob of something shiny and silver onto the deck. It wriggles quickly off the siding and plummets into the sea with a splash.
Ah, better. Let's not do that again anytime soon. Hmm? Very good. I'll feel far less put upon if you tell me you learned something useful on our little field trip. Desperate how? I see. So, your god seemed uncharacteristically frightened, told you the void was coming, and that only you could ascend to divinity, after which you felt a cold deep within you. Well then, it sounds like you need to ascend, doesn't it? And quickly.
She inspects her fingernails with great attention, then looks up at you from under an arched eyebrow.
Did they mention how you were meant to become the next divine? Oh, what confidence you inspire. Luckily for you, Mama Malady is here to help. We already know you can bless, but as far as I know, you can neither see source nor take it as you see fit. I may not know much about divinity, but I do know that any godwoken worth their salt will know how to perform all these oh so fantastic feats. You need to go see the Meister. Oh, she's got one of those things in Driftwood, you know, the building where people go and they do things inside of it. A home, that's it. She's got a home in Driftwood. Give me your map. There you are. Tell her I sent you and she'll handle the rest. You're at the beginning of a long journey, Godwoken. Long, but exceedingly interesting. Now, I must be going, and so must you. Why, our faithful little sloop, of course. We can all ride together. Won't that be terribly fun? Shopping. Before you go, if I'm not back by the time you find out where our journey takes us next, you can call me back here. Tell the ship. She'll know how to summon me. And in the unlikely case you don't manage to do whatever it is you'll need to do to become what you need to become, you could call me, but I would be grateful if it doesn't come to that.